All right, I think we're live. Let's wait a few seconds for people to join us for a bit. Hello, everyone. As I was saying, we'll just wait a little bit so people can actually connect to the call. But thank you for joining us. All right, well, it's been 3 seconds. That's enough time, right? Welcome to our hands-on Toggl analytics workshop. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we start, I kind of want to quickly introduce myself to those of you who have never seen my face before. My name is Aya. I'm the People and Talent Manager here at Toggl, and I will be your host for the session. But as you can see, I'm not alone here. Joining me today is Enzo, Product Manager from the Data Visualization team. Hi, Enzo.
Hi, thank you for the introduction. Like you said, I'm the product manager here at Data Visualizations team, and our job as a team is to make sure that you're getting very valuable data from every time entry that your team logs in. So this is our job here, and this is what we're doing with analytics. So welcome, everyone.
Yeah, welcome and thank you, Enzo. So just, as a heads up, this session is a follow-up to our Discover Analytics workshop. Before we get into it, I kind of, want to walk you through the agenda of it so you have a better idea of what to expect. Enzo will be introducing some of the new analytics features, walking you through our roadmap for early 2024, and of course, answering the more technical questions and, other general questions you submitted last week as well. Just as a side note, don't hesitate to submit your live questions via the chat on the right side of the screen. We'll do our best to answer them. And yes, this will be recorded. So within a few hours after the event ends, feel free to check your inboxes. You'll be receiving a replay of the session. Enzo, the floor is all yours. So let me just share your screen first.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm really excited to be here and show you the power of the new analytics that's just come out. And as you know, we have launched. And the thing with new analytics is that you have more control over how you visualize your time tracking data. So with analytics, you can create custom charts to analyze your time data however you like. You don't have constraints. So I'm going to be showing here two main features that we're going to be launching in the next days, which are sharing and group by tag. So in analytics, you will soon be able to share your charts and dashboards with other people and collaborate together on building these charts and dashboards. And also with grouping by tag, you will be able to get into more detail about how your team is tracking their time. And so you can make better decisions after analyzing them through analytics. So let me first start off by share a little bit more about our sharing feature that's just coming out. So let's go here to this general business performance overview dashboard that I created. And because of analytics, it allows me to create my custom charts however I like. I created this dashboard here that allows me to see basically how my team is working in the past 30 days. So it allows to see the top tasks that my team is working on. For example, I can see how much money we're making from optimizing campaigns. What are the top projects that are bringing the most money to my company? What are my top performers inside each team? So this is how analytics can help you. Now, let's say here I'm an admin for this company, like you might be, and you want to add someone else to this dashboard so that they can add their own charts, or they can make modifications, or even just visualize how your company is doing with you. So how you're going to do that? So basically, now that we set up our dashboard, you're going to go to the actions drop down up here. And in actions, you can do a number of things like exporting, and then you can do sharing. So with sharing, we're going to go in here to this dialog that shows me everyone that currently has access to my dashboard. So for example, right now it's just me, it's just the demonstrator. I'm the creator of this dashboard, and only I can be the creator of this dashboard. But let's say that I want to add Stanley. I want to add Stanley and I want to add Benjamin because there are two partners here at my company. And I want for them to see this dashboard that I created as well. So I can share it with viewer access. And like I said, viewer access only allows them to view this dashboard. But with the analytics, you can actually share it with editor access. And what they can do as an editor is add their own charts, remove the charts that we have here in the dashboard. But for now, I don't want them to make any changes to this, so I'm just going to share with viewer access. And now I shared with viewer access. So whenever you share a dashboard with someone, all the admins in your organization now are able to edit this dashboard as well. You can also share with your whole workspace at once, or you can share with different groups that are in your company. So for example, we can build a marketing dashboard and you can share with your whole marketing team, for example. Now, something very important to notice is that everything that you share in your dashboard is from your perspective. That means that if there's any sensitive time data on projects, for example, that you do not want other people to see, just be careful, because whenever you share that, everything's going to be under your perspective. So yeah, that's very important, especially if we start sharing with external users. So to share, for example, with the client, somebody who's not necessarily in your Toggl team, you can create an external link and copy it and share this external link with the client so that they can view this dashboard. Something very important to notice is that the external link only provides viewer access. It doesn't provide editor access. So you can only edit with admins inside your organization, but you can share it for visualization with anyone. If you don't, for example, work with this client anymore and you're sharing important information from your company, you can just reset the URL, and this will make this external link, of course, reset, so the previous one doesn't access that dashboard anymore. So that's basically how sharing works. And we're really excited because this will give you more power in your organization to create dashboards with other people and to share these custom charts with more people so you can analyze your business. So now that you've seen sharing, I'm going to talk about grouping by tag. I'm going to change my demo environment here. So let's hop into how grouping by tag works. So grouping, I really like tags because it allows me to get more details from each time entry that I have. So for example, I like to create tags that are meetings. I like to create tags to differ what is maybe like development work from administrative work and that sort of thing. So tags really allows me to do that, and that makes a lot of sense with analytics, because with analytics you can create more custom charts to dig really deep into every time entry that your team is doing. So let's start here showing how can group by tag be useful for you. So let's create a chart. And like I said, I can add a new grouping, and grouping is basically how I'm going to combine my data, right? So I'm going to combine it by client, project, task. I want to combine it by tag. And let's say I want to see how my whole company is distributing the amount of work they're doing based on each tag that I created. So I think a donut chart here would be useful, so I can see how my company is doing on that. So let's create the chart. So like you can see here that this donut chart kind of shows me, well, it shows me that I'm spending 8 hours and 20 minutes this week with meetings. So I don't like that, of course. I don't like that I'm spending too much time on meetings. So let's actually see like how much time I'm spending with meetings with each client that I have. So in order to do that, let's go to client and let's add a subgroup for tags. So I can first look at how I'm doing per client and then see how much I'm spending on each tag under each client. So for example, here we have Quantum Core, TerraTech, all of these are my clients. So when I ungroup them, I can see how much time I'm spending on each tag that I created. So for example, for Quantum Core, how much time I'm spending on front end work, back end work, how much time it's with breaks, and how much time I'm spending in meetings. So like I said, previously I'm spending a lot of time on meetings. Now I can see that for Quantum Corp, for example, I'm spending 8.5% of my total time this week on meetings, which might be a lot more than I'm more comfortable with. So this is how group by tags can really work together with analytics and give you even more detail and visibility um, through with your time data. So I'm really excited for that to be hitting. So wait for our notifications in the upcoming days. You're going to get that in our app, and I'm really excited for you to explore sharing and group by tag really soon.
Super exciting news. Thank you so much, Enzo. But I think we're all kind of wondering what's coming next to analytics.
Right. So we have a lot of exciting things in the future of analytics to help you make sense of every data that is created in your workspace. So in the near future, let's talk about just January for now. We're planning on launching the PDF export. So you can basically export to PDF every dashboard and every chart that you have. So that'd be very useful if you don't want to, if you just want like that static page of how your team did. And also, we are going to be releasing scheduling, which allows you to schedule periodically, let's say every week, every month, these charts and dashboards directly to your email. So you don't have to go back to the tabs every time. You don't forget to analyze this. You can schedule this to anyone in your team so that everyone can receive this periodically. And we're also working on adding the audit filter to your charts so that you can remove the data that might be hurting how you're visualizing your team. So for example, you can remove time entries that do not contain a project, that cannot contain a client, or there might be under a certain threshold of time that you set. For example, someone accidentally might be creating a billable time entry for 5 minutes and forgetting about it. So you can filter entries less than 5 minutes, for example, or you can filter entries that are over 3 hours, 4 hours. Somebody might have forgotten to click the stop button. And there's a lot more coming into new analytics after January. We're really excited, and I know we're constantly working to make analytics faster and more smoother for you to quickly get to the data that you need to, so that you don't waste time and you really get the insights right away. So we're working on improving that experience so you can get to your dashboards and charts faster and get to the data that you need faster as well.
Yeah, very exciting. And thank you to the team for working on it. And thank you, Enzo, as well, for the really insightful discussion so far. We're going to move on now to answering the questions that were submitted following our previous webinar. We'll get to the live questions right after these ones. These ones were submitted ahead of time, so we just want to kick it off with that one first. The first question is, we currently use a summary report grouped by project and task to update our budget sheets. The summary report allows us to click into each task and edit the time entries if needed. In analytics, I've created a table chart grouped by project, then task, but it does not allow us to click into each task to edit time entries if needed. It actually doesn't allow us to edit any of the fields. Will this feature be available when reports go away?
Okay, so I just want to calm everyone down, right? We're looking into deprecating reports. However, we're only going to do that when analytics has everything that you can do in reports. So don't worry, you're not going to lose the experience that you currently have in reports. We're just going to keep upgrading that. So to answer that question, how do you edit your time entries in analytics? So you actually can do that. So let me share my screen here.
Give me a second, it's loading. Here.
So there is this detail table that is a pre-made table that you receive, that you get as soon as you start using analytics. So these are going to be preloaded to you. If accidentally you removed it, that's okay. They're very easy to make. You just basically create a new chart and don't add any form of grouping to it. So this shows you everything that's in your workspace, in your organization, every time entry. So for example, here, I have all of this, and for me to make changes to it, I can add a description to the entries that don't have a description. can change the projects by just clicking on it, or this is a client. I can change the client by just clicking on it. I can change the project to it. I can change the tasks that are under it. I can do a lot of things here, just like I can do in the detailed reports. So just go to your detail table. You also have a detailed dashboard that is a pre-made dashboard that basically contains that detail table, and it's right here. If you want to make those changes, just click on the detail table and it will go back to where we were before. And you can also add the time entries from here. So it's basically everything that you get in the detail table. You can select the user you want to add it to, just the description, everything, and you can do all that from here. So I hope that answers your question. So that's basically how you make changes and edit your time entries in analytics.
Perfect. Thank you, Enzo. I hope, Shella, that answers your question. You seem to be saying that it's not letting you change the info in the field. If it's a persistent thing, can you please reach out to our support team who will help you troubleshoot it? Otherwise, the option should be available for analytics. We have a few more live questions right now that I want to go through as well. Enzo, if that's okay with you, we have a question from Leonardo that I'm going to show right now. The question is, can I get analytics to generate a weekly report for me with filters? Would help us to always look back on the week before without needing to create the filters on the report section itself.
Yes. So for example, I created this weekly company overview. So you can basically just add the filters here to these to your dashboard. So for example, you can just check everything on project X, and then you can save this. And in this case, there's no data from project X, but you can basically select you can filter everything that you want to see, and it affects all the charts at once. So like you said, you can change the period and affects the period of all charts all at once, and you can filter which teams you want to look at here. So yeah, that's basically how you generate a weekly report with filters. So I hope that answers your question, Leonardo.
Yeah, hope so as well. I want to backtrack a little bit back to Shayla because she's asking a follow-up question related to the previous one. How do we edit the charts dashboards that we create? Enzo, can you walk her through it, please?
Yes, of course. So let's take this general business performance overview dashboard. So let me clarify in how this works. So a dashboard is a combination of all the charts you've created. But in order for you to actually edit the charts, you have to go into the chart view. So I have a bunch of charts here. So let's say I have the summary bar chart, which I'm seeing by time. How do I edit this? How do I change this? How do I change the grouping? It's very easy. Just click on it. This is where you go into the chart that you were previously going in the dashboard. Now you go into the chart inside the dashboard and you edit. So let's say instead of day, I want to show weekday. So it now shows you my weekday instead of the actual dates. Yeah, that's basically just, you were previously in the dashboard, just click on the chart name you want to edit. And that will get you to the chart, and you just click the edit button. So let me just show you that again. So let's say I want to change my top tasks here. I just click on it, edit, change the grouping, projects per se, apply the changes, and then save it. If I save it as new, I just create a new one, and I have to add this new one to another dashboard. But I just want to save it for now. And then when I go into my dashboard, these changes will be made. So you see that it's projects now.
Perfect. Thank you, Enzo. And Shayla, just, FYI, if you still can't change the info in the fields, please reach out to our support team. They'll be very happy to help you with that. You can start a chat with them using the purple chat icon in the bottom right corner of every Toggl track page while logged into the web app. Yeah. Now, right here. And we've got another question as well from Stasia. Enzo, will you call out any features that we don't have on our end yet as you're demoing for us experiential learners that are walking through it as you go?
Yeah, so like I said, the only features that you don't have here are the ones that I just announced, which are sharing and grouping by tag. So for now, the only thing that you don't have is sharing here. Everything else that I showed you is available to you right now, and sharing is going to be available really, really soon, as well as group by tag. So everything that I showed you here, except for when I announced it, it's a future feature, then everything you already have.
Thank you. We have another question from Emily as well. Do you have rounding turned on? Because I cannot edit individual entries until I turn rounding off first. Is that a thing?
Yes, that is true because when you add a rounding, when you add rounding, um, that is already changing the duration. That's making it change. So it's for example, it's nearing into the next 15 minutes, right? So you're already making changes to it. So when you edit it, you need to have the original entry there. You cannot have an already edited entry by rounding it. So you can only make changes like to the time entry here to the duration if it's rounded or if it's not rounded, sorry. So like now it changes it. If you don't see these values here for changing, make sure that you're inside the chart. Make sure this only shows up if it's inside the chart mode. So click on the detail table, and then you see here these folder icons that shows that this can be changed. And you also, yeah, you can only change your entries, or if you're an admin, you can change everyone else's, but you cannot change someone else's entry for a regular user.
Thank you, Enzo. Apparently, Emily was trying to be helpful with Shayla. Thank you for that, Emily. But she does have a follow-up question. Is sharing going to be available soon just for dashboards or also charts and reports?
So in reports, you can send a link of a saved report, but the sharing that I just showed you, where you can contribute with other people, is only available or will only be available in analytics. So like edit mode, that kind of thing, working at editing with someone else, it's only available for analytics. Because analytics allows you to create a custom version of that. In reports, doesn't make sense to have combined edit mode with someone else, for example. But you can share a saved report with just an external link.
Thank you, Enzo. We don't seem to have any more live questions right now, but we do have questions that are generally frequently asked to our team, and we wanted to address them right here publicly. So if you don't mind, Enzo, answering those as well. The first one is, let me find it first. How do I change groupings and edit charts from dashboards?
Okay. So like I was saying before, it's really easy. Everything that you need to do is when you inside a dashboard, let's say like I don't like how this chart is grouped here. I don't like that it's grouped by weekday. I just click on it, edit, and this gives me access to edit everything in that chart. So like I can change how it's grouped by project. So apply. I can change, and I can make changes here. For example, that it's a project. I don't want to have leaves. Select all leaves. Make changes to the filter. So it's not showing leaves anymore. And if I want to change grouping to something else, just go here. And if I want a second grouping, I can group by project and user, which is only available in tables. So just click on the chart inside the dashboard, click on edit, and you can make all the changes that you need.
Perfect. Back to Shayla now. How do we edit the charts dashboards that we create?
Yeah, so like I said, it's just the same thing that I just showed you. So dashboard is a combination of your charts. So for you to edit a dashboard, you edit the charts inside a dashboard.
Sorry,
But
Enzo,
for
I meant
example,
the data fields in the charts themselves, not the general data fields.
okay. So like if you want to change the entries, like if you want to change how the numbers are, you have to go to the individual entries in that. So you would have to go to the detail table and make the changes here. For example, if you want to change the duration, if you want to change the project. But from a chart, you can only make these changes from a detail table. You cannot do it in a bar chart, for example. Let's add a grouping here. You're not allowed to make the changes in the entries. For example, change the project here from here. You have to make it in the detail table.
I hope that answers your question, Shayla. We have one more live question, Enzo, that just came in right now from Adam, who's asking, I really like the old reports. What's the benefit of this versus reports? Is there an instance where reports is better or recommended over analytics in the first place?
Yes, yes. So let's see here. Let's go up to our reports, and it's clear to see the difference. So let's go last week. With reports, basically you get a static view of your data. So you get this bar chart here. You cannot change where it's placed. You cannot change how it's grouped. It's always grouped by weekday. You always see the total time. If you want to see the total amounts on each weekday, you can't see that. Um, yeah, it's not possible. The table here, you cannot add different columns to it. You cannot add the billable duration here. You can just see total duration. You can change the grouping, and the grouping directly affects the pie chart. So you cannot create charts that are independent of one another. So you just follow this very rigid structure here. But the benefit of analytics is that you can customize how every chart is displayed. So let's go to another pre-made dashboard that you start with when you just click on analytics. You're loaded with the summary dashboard, which is a version of the summary dashboard. And the thing is, you can actually make changes to this chart so that you see, for example, you don't want to see, let's go 2 weeks ago. So instead of viewing the time, I can just come here. I can make changes to for example, sum of amount. So that I just don't see the time. I actually see the amount I'm making per day. I'm not ultimately what matters for me, for example, is the money that I'm making per day, not necessarily the hours that I'm putting in. So I can just save this. And then when I go back to my reports, it's actually gonna see, it's actually gonna show me the bar chart by amount. So I couldn't do that with reports. Same thing here. If I change the grouping here for projects, I can change the grouping for projects and it doesn't affect the grouping on another donut. Also, if that in that summary table, I can add new columns here so I can see more things. For example, I can see billable duration, and that's really what matters for me here. So I'm going to scroll sideways and drag this here. I don't need to see duration. I just care about billable duration. So I'm going to save the changes, and I totally customize my initially rigid summary reports. That is now a customized summary dashboard. And you can do, of course, you can do a lot more than that, than just editing the grouping. You can add new charts that are valuable for you that you see that best summarize um, your data for that week. So yeah, that's basically the difference that it does. And when is it going to be beneficial for you to use analytics over reports? Are you somebody who's administering the whole organization and you want to see how your business is doing as a whole, right? Analytics allows you to create a lot more charts where you can get those views of what's more important for you at a company, right? So you want to see which projects are bringing the most money, which tasks. If you're an admin, that's perfect for you because you can visualize the productivity, how much money you're making per week, per month, from your business. If you're an individual user who just wants to see how much time you track, then analytics is not so powerful for you compared to reports. But if you want to improve how your business is doing, you want to get more insights on business level decisions that you need to make, analytics is the go-to analyze tool for you.
Honestly, sounds pretty exciting. to have analytics. So thank you, Enzo, for the explanation as well. We have another live question that just came in as well from Cassie. I think it's more of a confirmation. So Enzo, can you confirm, please? I'm editing a dashboard I've created, and when I turn rounding on and off, it changes the dates I've already set. I'm trying to do a 2-week dashboard for easy review of payroll. That's for extra context. Enzo, what can you tell us?
So when you turn rounding on and off, it changes the dates I've already set. Yeah, it's not supposed to change the date. So let's see here from. Let's take last 14 days. Not sure if this is exactly what you mean. So when you turn rounding on and off, like I keep the same dates here. But if that's not exactly the question they've answered, feel free to just talk to our support. They're going to be able to help you with that if it's a specific case that you're facing. So yeah, you're saying that it puts on 1 week only and the current week. So that rounding shouldn't be affecting the time, the period here. So like I said, if it's a specific case for you, just our support is awesome. They know about analytics very well, and they're going to be able to help you in these specific cases.
Yep, that explains it. And I think someone very helpfully pointed out that it might be a bug, and therefore we'll work on it and we'll try to fix it as soon as possible. Thank you, Cassie, and Adam as well for the help. We do have another frequently asked question, which is, can I view multiple projects at once in a dashboard? And so is that possible?
Yes. So that's one of the benefits of analytics that reports, for example, doesn't have. So with reports, you're constrained to you can either filter the whole thing all at once. You cannot see like how project A compares to project B, right? You can filter these, but with analytics, we can create a dashboard that compares multiple projects at once. So let me actually show this to you. Let's build one here. Let's go create a chart. And I want to create a project from project, and I want to see a table or a bar chart. Okay. Project, actually, I want to see a weekday. Let's go to a week where I had more data because this week's still going. So so I created a bar chart that is grouped by weekday, so I can see how much time it's spending every week, right? I'm not worried about time. I'm worried about money here. So I'm seeing for every project how much time I'm spending every weekday. Now I want to just do project X. So I just want to compare how project X is doing. Project X, weekly, I don't know, revenue. Revenue by weekday, let's just do that, revenue by weekday. So let's just save that. Save it. Now I want to compare with another project. So let's just compare with deployment. So now I can see how my hours are, how much revenue I'm making per weekday on deployment. So I'm just going to change this to deployment. And I'm going to save as new so I don't override the previous change. All right. So I'm going to go back to my dashboards. I'm going to create a new dashboard and I'm going to say deployment versus and project X revenue by weekday comparison. Right, that's good. So I'm just going to add these charts. I have a ton of charts here. Project X by weekday, and I want to see deployment revenue by weekday. I may need different names, but it's okay. I don't want to see this. I'm going to hide it. I can compare how much money I'm making on one project. And I can, well, here I'm just comparing hours. So I can, let me save these changes first. So I'm getting revenue here. Here I want to get revenue as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit some duration, some by amount. My team or my company works with a bunch of different currencies. I want to compare dollars to dollars, apples to apples. So yeah, that's how I created that. I'm not finding my dashboard anymore. Which one was it? Yeah, okay, this one. So here I'm comparing apples to apples. So like on Wednesday, this is how much I made on project X, and then I didn't make any money on project deployment, but yeah. So this is how you compare, and you can compare Thursday to Thursday. You can do multiple projects here at once by just going here and then, like I said, just filtering the projects that you want. And this filter here affects all the charts. So what you want to do if you want to compare different projects is just create a chart, filter by one project, create another chart, filter by that project. So that's how you view multiple projects at once.
Super helpful. Thank you, Enzo. I want to give you a quick interlude from Emily, who's given us really positive feedback that I want you to hear as well, Enzo. I'm finding analytics features really helpful so far. It's helping cut down how much manual editing I have to do once I export a report, since I can get it closer to how I want it in Toggl first. Honestly, we're super happy to hear that. Thank you, Emily. That's lovely to hear, and I'm sure the Datavis team will also be very happy to hear that. Thank you. We have another question from Leonardo right now, who is based in Brazil, with a suggestion. Maybe it's a good idea for Toggl to be able to set different types of users. For example, in Brazil, an intern is only able to work for a maximum of 6 hours a day. So the filters would use when looking at their hours are different. Enzo, what do you think?
Good, Leonardo. I'm from Brazil as well, so I get what you're talking about. We have different user levels. We don't, you cannot necessarily, like, they all follow, each user level follows the same set of rules. But what you could possibly do is when we have audit, you can, let's see here, when you have audit, you can just remove, or you just remove entries that are under or over. You just look at the entries that are up to 6 hours. If they're past 6 hours, you don't analyze those, for example. So you would be able to do that with audit. And then when you can also, let's see here. Let's go to, I'm going back and forth, but let's look at trying to find the detailed dashboard here. Detailed dashboard. I created the detailed table, but I can choose what user I have. Like, let's say you select the intern, or sorry, it's the client. You select the intern, and then you can audit by when it's past 6 hours, for example. Maybe that's helpful for what you're trying to do. Yeah, hope that helps.
I love seeing compatriots helping each other. Leonardo, I hope that helps from a fellow Brazilian as well. Thank you so much. We have two more questions that were frequently asked, and so I'll go back to that as well. The first one being, first of last one being, how can I add more table columns?
Cool. So let's go to one of our tables. Timesheets, which one should I do? Let's just go with the table here. So let's say you want to do project. Well, let's do client by project. I like that. Client by project, by task. With analytics, you can do one more level of grouping, so you get more in depth into what you're doing. So you see this magical button here. This is where you added the column. So let me just first, you can like, instead of showing duration, I'm interested in billable duration. I don't care about duration. I want money, so I'm caring about billable duration. So you can make these changes here. You can also get the duration percentage. You can get the project estimate, project progress. So like, I added multiple columns here. So for example, I can see, let's get some for last week. So for example, I can see from my task level up to task level, how much each task is taking duration from the whole project for account management. So I can change I can see billable duration, I can change product estimate. So yeah, I can add or remove charts or columns from here. And this is how you make this more customizable. So it's very good when you want to export this, and you export exactly what you want to see and remove what you don't want to see. So you don't have more work when going to your CSV file or Excel file and deleting the column from there. You can actually do it from here. So that's actually like client, you can add more stuff here. So you will export exactly what you see here. So yeah, that's about it.
Perfect. Thank you, Enzo. We have one more live question that just came in from Curtis, who's asking, can you embed any Toggl charts reports into an external tool?
It's a good question. Maybe support can help you with that better, but I don't think you can. So the idea is that you can let us know why would you want to do that. If you cannot do what you want to do in analytics and you want to embed it into somewhere else, or if you want to embed it into a website or something like that. Perhaps if you share with an external link and then you embed this external link into something that just takes the URL and shows what is in that page, maybe you can do that. So yeah, maybe that, but check with support. That's probably what I think you can do when we launch sharing, but not totally sure yet.
Yeah, I think support will be able to help. Curtis will be able to follow up in more detail over there. So thank you for the question. One other question from Cassie, who's asking, can you change the size of weekly pivot tables, Enzo? Right now,
So
it's only showing 2 rows. When I scroll down, then I can see others, but I would like to see a bunch of rows on screen at one time.
showing 2 rows. Let's see.
It's a good question, Cassie.
So yeah, I mean the rows the rows they show here would be based on the person that you're pivoting, the user. So if it's not showing enough rows, there's not enough data. I'm not sure if I fully understand what you're trying to do here. So it shows a header and 2 more rows. When I scroll, it shows 3 more rows. Oh, so you want to expand the view size maybe. So let's see. Weekly timesheet. For me, it would show more of it, but feel free to. You only have the full size card mode. If it's not showing enough things, just shoot us a screenshot to our support where you can look here, and then we're going to be yeah, just shoot us a screenshot of what you're seeing, and then we'll be happy to analyze that. And if that's a bug, we'll fix it for sure.
Yeah, if it's a bug, it will be fixed, Cassie. That if you have 20 rows of data and want them to show, we'll try to see what we can do with support. Thank you. One last question, Enzo, and then we're done with our pre selected questions, but we might have some other ones from the live chat. The last question is, how do I show amounts instead of hours in bar charts?
Okay. Just going back to that previous question here, I just realized something that like I went to a previous period where like last week and it shows me more data here, but I have to scroll down to see everything. Currently there's a limit of how much the card that it can show. So it's limited by the card size because like if you have a pivot or like a pivot table that is too long, you won't be able to see what's under it. Like if you had more stuff down here. So it limits up to like these, but it shouldn't limit only to 2. But so yeah, so let's go back to it. How do you show the amounts in the set of hours, right? So like I said, all the changes that you see in a chart can be done when you click on it, and then you go to the settings, and you can aggregate by different amounts or different durations. So you said if you want to go from duration to amounts, you do it here. Yeah, that's how you go. Setting, change aggregation by amount. Hope that helps.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Enzo, for all the very, insightful answers. And thank you everyone for participating in the live chat with your questions and with your comments. We really, really appreciate it. There might be some new live questions, perhaps, so I'll give it a few seconds. But if not, then I just want to remind you that analytics is free for all of our users until the 8th of January. So test out its potential, see what it looks like. You've seen some of the features, they're very exciting. And of course, don't forget to share your feedback in the in-app survey. We grow with your feedback. So whatever you tell us, we try to implement it. We try to make it as relevant as possible for our users. And this will help us shape analytics to add new features you need the most. If you have any further questions or feedback, don't hesitate to reach out to our amazing support team. Again, they are the rock stars of our company. You can start a chat with them using the purple chat icon in the bottom right corner of every Toggl track page on the web app when you're logged in. But yeah, they'll be very quick to answer you. And yes, thank you all for joining us today. It was lovely, and we'll see you in Toggl Track.
Thank you.
Bye.